5 feet 3 inches above ground. Despite this effort, the house, of course, has been engulfed by floods numerous times. In 1954, there was a great flood. Dr. Farnsworth had only been here 3 years. Over 2 feet of floodwater entered the house, destroying all of her draperies. Again in 1996, when this area received a record 18 inches of rain over a 24-hour period, it left over 5 feet of floodwater inside of the house, breaking windows on the east end. Lord Palumbo was forced to restore the entire inside of the house, all of the furniture and the mechanical room, at a cost of about $500,000. The following year, in May of 1997, the house opened to the public for the first time. Most recently, in 2008, we took on another 2 feet of floodwater inside. I'm going to be talking more about the flood issue when we get inside, because you will see some of that damage does still remain. Now, Mies was said to have sited the house in this very spot on the property simply because of a maple tree that once stood in the front of the house. He was very intent on interweaving architecture and nature. Therefore, the proximity of the house to that tree was a crucial point. But you must also keep in mind there would have been no air conditioning when the house was first built in 1950. This is a southern exposure, and the tree had a huge canopy on it, so it shaded the entire house from the hot summer sun. Clearly you can see our tree is missing. It had died and became a threat to the house and had to be removed only recently. It is yet to be determined what and when something will be replacing it. I can tell you, however, that tree is actually being cloned at the Morton Arboretum in Lisle, Illinois. Now, the black cylinder underneath the house serves as the umbilical cord to the house. It houses all of the utilities along with a 4-inch drain pipe from the flat roof. It is constructed of cast iron, also set in 5 feet of concrete. The glass was originally 1/4-inch hand-polished plate glass. Some is still original, some has been replaced due to breakage. It was the third pane over that had broken due to the force of the floodwater in that 96 flood. Now, that was replaced with tempered glass due to safety regulations at the time. The disadvantage of that tempered glass 20 years ago was that it was quite distorted in the reflection. It was not near as pure as the polished plate. We also have new glass on the east end due to the fact that we had some strong winds come through here a few years ago. Now, the glass is never broken previously due to high wind, but in this case, on a very windy day when the front door was opened, a gust of wind went through the house. That east panel literally exploded outwardly, landing on the ground beneath it in a pile of shards of glass. That was one of those original polished plate windows. Now, that too has been replaced with tempered glass. However, the technology over the last 20 years has greatly improved. It no longer has the distortion. It has a very clear reflection through it. It's rather exciting to see what technology is doing in the way of improvements with regard to architectural preservation as time moves on. Now, you're going to be circling around on this path. At that point, we'll be talking a little bit about the outer structure before we actually go inside. The rooftop you see to the west here is to a boathouse that Lord Palumbo built to house his canoes. Has nothing to do with Mies, therefore is not included in the tour. For those of you that are interested in viewing it, you're welcome to go down after the tour is over. Also, if you can peek through the trees, you can see that original pier to the original road does still stand out in the middle of the river. Now, it doesn't appear that the original road was that much further off to the west, but it was actually a pie-shaped piece of property. So here at the house, the original road was considerably further off to the west. Also, keep in mind it would have been a single-lane road that the farmers used going to and from town, so it was very quiet and peaceful, just the way Dr. Farnsworth liked it. She was most displeased and upset about the prospect of that road going through. Once again, she went back to court and she argued with every reason she could think of why the road should not go through, of course all to no avail. She went as far as offering up her property, all of her acreage, including the house, to the state of Illinois upon her death if they would just not put the road through. But you can see this was in the late 1960s, and architectural preservation did not have the voice that it does today. Okay, follow me.